Hello everyone, this is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for joining me on my spiritual journey. And once again, I will leave the link at the end of this video for the other videos so you can get all caught up. And today, let me see, I have my notes here. This is episode number 13. Episode number 13. And as you guys can tell by the title, this is one of those topics that I'm not comfortable talking about, but I will, for the glory of God. Let me turn my camera a little bit so you guys can see me better. Yeah, so I wanted to come today and talk about me being pregnant at the time, and my baby daddy decided that, you know, he didn't want to no longer be in the picture. I can't tell his story. I will never tell his story. I can only tell my story. At this time, my last video telling you guys how I'm dealing with church people, how church people looking at me all sideways, that way, you know. And I'm just dealing with a lot, you know, being pregnant for the first time. I'm 20. Well, I was 20 years old when I got pregnant. Just dealing with a lot, emotions, hormones, all of that, just, on my end, I'm dealing with a lot. So, of course, everything, was fine between us. Everything, it was what it was. When I told him I was pregnant, he was fine with it. Everything was okay. And when I got about, I don't know, I was about 4 or 5 months. It was early. It was early in my pregnancy. I wasn't even 6 months yet. And originally, he was from another city. And of course, I told y'all, he was in the streets, whatever, how they say it, in the streets. And I was in the church, he was in the streets, and unequally yoked. And so he decided that he would up and just go back to where he was from. Not telling me, of course. So it started with one day I had been beeping him and calling him all day. He wasn't responding. I'm like, what's going on? I was a little worried. Like, did they catch him? Did he get in trouble? And no, and just I never got a response back or anything. No replies to my beeps, my phone calls, nothing. Yeah. So, like I said, I was about 4 or 5 months then. It was really early in my pregnancy, like early. Maybe I was around 6 months, because I know what my belly was showing. I couldn't hide my belly no more. Somewhere up in there. Anyway, y'all. So, yeah, I was just trying to reach him. Wasn't getting any response or nothing. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like scared. I'm like, wow, he usually call me right back when I beep him. What's going on? Something ain't right. So, instead of him saying to me, hey, this isn't what I want, I don't want to do the right thing, because that's what it is. When you get somebody pregnant, the right thing is to make sure she's okay and the baby's okay. That's the right thing. That's not my opinion. That's facts. That's what you do. Even if he didn't want to be with me, he could have said, hey, this ain't what I want. Now I'm saying, man, that person say, hey, this ain't what I want, blah, 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 blah. I'm going back to where I'm from. You could have at least communicated with me and said that. And you know what? It is what it is. Because I was going to be all right. Because as long as I got King Jesus, as long as I got him, I don't need nobody else. Don't make me sing it. But anyway, so, yeah, no communication. And when I tell you, days turn into days, weeks turn into weeks, months turn into months. Yeah. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not comfortable sharing this, but I will share. I will. Because you know why? This gonna help somebody. This gonna help somebody. I know it. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. Weeks turned into weeks, months turned into months, and I was like, wow, this is what you're doing. You are leaving me, not communicating with me, not telling me nothing. And of course, you know how you hear things where you're from. When you see this, you hear things. So I heard from one of his homeboys that he had went back to where he was from. I was like, wow, really? And I was like, hey, you need to tell your boy he need to holler at me, because I ain't got no communication. And I'm pregnant. What is going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, this is what we gonna do. But you know what, y'all? This is what God talks about when he say about that unequally yoked. Do not be unequally yoked. Because you know what? Before I even talked to him, before we even touched, like communicated with each other, we were on two different paths. And you know what? I should have never entertained it. I mean, I'm not saying the men in the church are perfect. I'm not saying that. I'll share with y'all. It's going to be an episode about that too. About me dating somebody in the church. I'm going to share that with y'all too. I'm not saying they're perfect, because they ain't. They ain't. Nobody is. I just, you could have communicated with me and said something to me. Why I gotta hear on the streets? Wait. I just talked to you the day before. Everything was gravy. Everything was all boo, this, da 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 da. Yeah, I'm telling you, when days turn into days, weeks turn into weeks, and it was a couple of months, and I was hearing things from his boys, his homeboys. I was like, wow. I was like, well, you need to get word to your boy that I'm gonna need him to do better. How about that? And when I tell y'all, I was devastated. I was boo-hoo crying. I was like, how can he just leave me like this? I don't deserve this. I'm a good person. I was crying. Y'all know I stayed crying. I was screaming. It was them hormones, but it was just me crying too, huh? Cry about what? It's got to be about one of my kids for me to shed a tear. That's God. God make me like that. Everything I've been through, honey, done toughened me up. If it ain't about my mama and my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Crying about that. Anyway, so I was hurt. I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, now I got to face my mama. Let her know what's going on. And then the church people going to find out. I'm trying to tell y'all, it was just a mess. I was like, oh my goodness. Just done left me. Number ain't the same. Couldn't even, then it got to the point where the number didn't even work. Number didn't even work, y'all. Number didn't even work. To God be the glory. When I tell y'all I was devastated, this is my first time being pregnant. Like, what? What are you doing? Like, what? Like, just didn't even care. Just left me like that? Just left me? With your child? I'm telling you, I cried to God about that thing for a long time. I cried to God about that. I was like, God, he done left me like this. And God said, you know what? God said, I got you. God said, as long as you got me, God said, you can't depend on man. And then God started to talk about the unequally yoked. God was like, you trying to be with somebody who don't even believe in me. God said, you trying to be with somebody who don't even love me like you do. You trying to be with somebody who don't even go to church. You trying to be with somebody who not even trying to get to know me. He said, unequally yoked. He said, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, y'all ain't even got nothing in common. As far as, he wasn't trying to go to church. He wasn't trying to get to know God. Not saying he was a bad person, because he wasn't. But he was from the streets. You know how it is when they from the streets. They got that street mind. They're not trying to get to know God. He wasn't trying to get to know God. I'm just going to keep it here. My business. I'm not talking about nobody else, judging nobody else. But like God said, he wasn't trying to get to know me. He wasn't trying to grow in Christ like you. Unequally yoked. And I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that. And it hurt being pregnant, not having him there. Going to doctor's appointments and he wasn't there. I mean, it hurt. And I prayed and I cried to God all the time. All the time I prayed about it. Won't shed a tear about it now. No, baby. You don't deserve my tears. You couldn't stay and be a father to your child and do the right thing. You didn't have to be with me. Because God was going to take care of me, honey. I was moving on. You didn't have to be with me. And over time, I did move on. God gave me the strength and gave me the courage to move on after dealing with that. Because after that, after he left me pregnant, I wanted nothing else to do with anybody else. I wanted nothing else to do with nobody else. Ain't want to date nobody. Ain't want to see nobody. I didn't have my second child till 10 years later. That's how serious I was. I wasn't even trying to talk to nobody. Don't try to talk to me because I didn't have time. I was bitter. I'm going to talk to y'all about that too in another episode. But yes, I was about 5-6 months pregnant, and he decided he wouldn't man up. He wouldn't man up. He ain't man up and take care of his responsibilities. Yeah, I had to deal with that. That's from that unequally yoked, y'all. I had to suffer. I had to suffer from it. You know, get somebody who at least trying to get to know God like you, who trying to know Christ like you, who trying to live, like who's trying, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to convince somebody to do it, try to bring somebody into it that don't know about it, that ain't trying to do it themselves. You can't make nobody do nothing now. All you can do is just live your life and pray that they see your life and they want to get to know God too. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do. But I suffered, I went through, you know, and I blamed myself. I did. I'm being honest. I blamed myself. I blamed myself because I knew he was from the streets. I knew when I found out he was from the streets, I should have been like, oh, okay, all right, we good. I don't want to talk to you no more. I'm good on that. That's how I should have been. Nah, this ain't gonna work out because you don't even believe in God like I do. You don't even, I mean, he wasn't a devil worshiper or nothing like that, but you don't even believe in God like I do. You don't even love God like I do. I'm talking to you about God. I'm trying to get you to come to church. You like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, I should have known then, just, yeah, you should have left that alone, sis. You should have left that alone because he ain't even trying to get on your level with Christ. He not trying to get to know him. I should have just moved on then, but now flesh. Girl, he fine. Girl, he was fine. Anyway, yes, flesh. See? Constant battle. Flesh. Every day. Every day I wake up, it's a constant battle. I'm trying to tell y'all, we got to die to the flesh every day. Because every day I wake up and fighting this flesh. Good and evil, good and evil. It's an everyday battle that you're going to always be fighting. You just got to go to God, ask God to give you strength to deal with it and to get through everyday life. Everyday life. Ask God to give you strength. That's what we got to do. Give us the strength to get through it, go through it, and just, you know, do the right thing, make the right choices. It ain't always easy to make the right choices. I know. God knows I know. But yeah, y'all. He cowered out, left me pregnant with my first child. But you know what? As long as I got King Jesus, I had God in my life, and God got me through it. God got me through it. Of course, I'll be talking to y'all more later about, you know, continuation of things as I go through my spiritual journey, guys. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this video up. This is Arika Misha. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media at Arika Misha. And don't forget, guys, knowledge is power. Thanks, guys.